See, I look so pretty with makeup. जब भी ना कोई मुझसे पूछता है why don't you apply makeup? This is the reason. मैं बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी लगती हूँ and I cannot afford to look this good every day. Hi, this is Pinky Kumari on Vagrant April. आज की वीडियो थोड़ी लंबी होगी, so keep on watching it without complaining. Okay, let's get into the video. आज हम बात करेंगे एवलिन के बारे में. Who is Evelyn? She is the woman who married 7 times. तो जब भी हम शादी या फिर रिलेशनशिप के बारे में सोचते हैं, do we think we will end up marrying 7 people? एवलिन ने भी ये नहीं सोचा था. So this is the story of Evelyn. You need to understand who is Evelyn. Evelyn na, she used to be a very famous actress in Hollywood. One of the very famous actress who won Oscar in her later age. She started getting famous around 1950. तो उनकी कहानी कुछ ऐसी शुरू होती है कि जब वो 11 साल की थी, when she was around 11 years old, her mother died. She was not American, so she was not all fair. She was brown, kind of brown like us, like how Cubans are. She was Latin American. She was from Cuba, and they migrated to America, and she was born in America. She grew up with her abusive father and her mother who worked to get out of the poverty. They lived in a very, very poor condition. उसको ना अपने बारे में कुछ अजीब, कुछ अलग नहीं लगता था, कुछ यूनिक फील नहीं होता था until she got at the age of 13 to 14. That her body started changing. जहाँ पे ना उसकी body पे curves आने लगे and she got that hourglass shaped body. Every boy in the neighborhood wanted to talk to her just for wanted to become friend with her, that one day eventually they can sleep with her. And one of that person was Ernie Diaz. Ernie Diaz वो एवलिन की दोस्त का भाई था जिसको एले जाना था. एंड एवलिन का सपना था स्टार बनना, just because ये उसकी मम्मा और वो ये दोनों ड्रीम शेयर करते थे. तो एवलिन ने ये मौका सही समझा और सोचा कि अगर वो अर्नीस के साथ शादी कर ले और एलए में सेटल हो जाए तो शी माइट गेट अ चांस. सो उसने अर्नीस डियाज से शादी की एंड दे मूव टू एलए. डियाज प्रोवाइडेड फॉर हर एंड शी started lingering around Hollywood cafes जहाँ पे उसकी मुलाकात होती है हैरी से. She didn't marry Harry. Harry was a producer. So she started becoming friend with her in a hope that one day he will give her a movie. And that happened. When she started getting small roles in movies. And one of that very famous movies she got a role was in Little Women. Little Women वो book पढ़ी है या सुनी है? That same book, there was a play and she got a role in it. And that time she left Ernie Diaz. She divorced Ernie Diaz and moved out of that place. And there, in that set, she meets Celia, the woman who played the role of Beth in the play. The actors were of same age and they were competing with each other to be the best. And in the whole play of Little Women led to her meeting of Don Adler. Don Adler जो उनके second husband बने थे. So Don Adler was very popular because Adler was very popular in those times. उनके parents भी star हुआ करते थे and even Don Adler was a star. He had humongous amount of wealth. He was damn rich. Evelyn did not fall for the wealth. She fell in love how Don was, how Don treated and how kind Don was. Loved the attention she got by only being with Don. They got married one day and they became new sensation. Like Alia and Ranveer, like Katrina and Mickey. They became Evelyn and Don, the whole sensation of Hollywood at that time. Evelyn ने ये notice किया तो she loved Don a lot, but Don had flaws and she accepted Don with those even. But I guess Don could not. Don used to beat Evelyn every day and Evelyn started hiding the marks on her face with makeup. She used to go on set and tried all the ways to hide those marks. But सच्चाई छुपती नहीं है ना. So Harry noticed, Celia noticed. Till now, Harry, Celia, and they all became very good friends instead of competitors. Harry kept on bringing movies for Evelyn, and Celia was a good friend till then. And Celia requested Evelyn to leave Don, but her love for Don could not allow that. She wanted to be with Don. Let it be anything. She knew she could fix him, as if there was something to fix. One day, Harry comes with the news that Don have decided to divorce Evelyn. She became the target of news channels. She became the target of all the magazines and every news critic. Everyone thought it was her mistake, and Don totally destroyed her career. Just because he was very rich and wealthy and had many producing company under him, he did not allow any company to take Evelyn as an actress. She was shattered into pieces. Her career came downhill, and she had no option left to get over Don, which she could never did. To fix her career, she went to Paris, France, and there she meets a third husband. In Paris, she met one of the producers called Mike, and Mike was already married to Victoria, and just to marry our Evelyn, he divorced Victoria. Mike was nothing less than a playboy. He directed movies in a way that made Evelyn as a sexual object for him as well as for the entire population. She was being objectified. There was a scene in a movie he directed where she comes out of a swimming pool totally naked. And that became headlines of every news channel. And when she came from Paris, the situation in Hollywood didn't change. And there, she became the same woman who did not have good image with men and who was probably too beautiful and had an amazing body. She was not taken in. From then on, she was not taken in movies for her acting skill. It was her body which landed her into movies. After coming to Bollywood, she left Mike. Achha, did I tell you one thing? The most amazing part of the whole story is our Evelyn did not marry the love of her life. She married 7 times, but not the person she loved. What irony. Okay, we'll move on to the next list. I have Rocksnoth. Rocksnoth is nothing but just an equal and opposite character of Evelyn. He is also the same character as Evelyn, just in a male body. They connected a lot, but yet they also had to split up. Because end of the day, they all needed their career and people in their lives just walked in and left whenever they wanted. The same happened with Rocksnoth. They met in Paris. He was so handsome. His jawlines were perfect as defined by Evelyn. You know what Rocksnoth defined Evelyn as? He said she was so beautiful that one day you'll get bored of that beauty. Just imagine someone telling you that. ऐसा नहीं था कि Evelyn kept on marrying one person to another. नहीं. She had a good life. Like, she was a great actress. She was doing so good in Hollywood, even in Paris, even in French movies. She was doing very well. She had friends like Harry and Celia, I told you. You know what? One thing about Celia, one thing which confused Evelyn a lot. Evelyn always wanted to know, why don't Celia have any relationship? Why didn't she ever dated somebody? And that thought of Celia dating somebody troubled Evelyn. Then she realized day by day, in those deep conversations they have at night, in those conversations where they share ice cream, food, love, cry to each other, she realized she loves him. She realized she loves her. And that time, she got to know she is a bisexual. A person who's a bisexual is sexually attracted to both male and female. And our Evelyn was attracted to Celia. And Celia was homosexual. She was only attracted to female. Everybody knew. Not in Bollywood, but everybody in her family knew. Because that time, during 1950s, it was illegal. It was illegal to love someone. Just imagine how cruel that is. Just imagine how cruel that is, that you cannot love somebody because it's illegal to love someone of your own gender. I mean, I feel it's never about the gender. It's more about a person. We fall in love with a person, not with their gender. Okay, let's move on to the story. But they did not marry. They did not marry. Evelyn had a perfect thought to marry Celia, and that is why Evelyn had a plan. Evelyn requested Harry, who was also homosexual, to marry his love. But of course that was not possible, so they came to a plan where Celia will marry the person Harry liked and Evelyn will marry Harry. And that is how they started living together. In the eyes of the world, it was Harry and Evelyn and Celia and that other guy. Evelyn had her first and only child. Evelyn always wanted a child, and Harry was the perfect father figure she wanted. And then they had a child. They moved on. It was so pretty just to be with Celia, because as I told you, दुनिया के लिए वो Harry से married थी, but she loved Celia, and Harry knew that. So this life continued for many years. But one day Harry and Evelyn ended up divorcing each other. And the reason was not a fight or something. The reason was Harry's lover died. And he fell into depression. And she could not see him like that. She could not bring back the father of her child. She couldn't see the whole mess what was around, so they had to split up. They had no other option. And next is Max. Max, you don't know until about him because he was there in the first part itself. Like, he landed so many movies to Evelyn. He was a good supporter when it comes to movie. He gave her a lot of chances in many movies, so they got married, Max, for more movies, for having a good career. And under Max, she won her Oscar. And that night, coming from Oscar, she celebrated with Celia, not with Max. She wanted that celebration every day. She wished वो Celia के साथ रह सके every day, just like a normal person. But she could never do that because of the law. I just hate the fact that law that time did not allow them to be together. Max was another disappointment. And later Max, she married Robert Johnson. The most successful marriage which stayed pretty long after it ended. I believe Robert died. That's what I believe. I really don't remember right now. If you try to search Evelyn online, you'll be disappointed that it was a story, it is a novel. Me, even you will get disappointed because it is not a real story, it is friction. It is a book called Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. If every line in the story justifies why she married 7 times, it shows the world in a totally different perspective than the holistic one. more you read about this book, the more you will get connected to the character Evelyn, that you feel like protecting her, that you feel like protecting her from your own judgment. It is such a good novel. And according to it, she died at the age of 7. According to it, she died at the age of 79. And before dying, she particularly requested for one of the journalists called Montague to write about her life. And she died before the book could release. This was her plan. She wanted it this way. I guess it is an amazing book. You should read it. If you do not read it, it's okay. I was the one who told you that story. I will recommend the story 5 with 5 stars. Every word, every character in your story is mind-boggling. I don't know how people write this well. I can't. I mean, I don't know how people write this well. लोग कितनी अच्छी बातें लिख लेते हैं ना, कितनी सुंदर तरीके से लिख लेते हैं. This was all for today. I hope मेरी narration ये आपको अच्छी लगी. If you like it, color that white like button. If you color it, it'll be blue. If you want to see more videos from Vagrant April, kindly subscribe it. It was Pinky Kumari on Vagrant April.